Okay, so welcome everyone to the weekly coaching call with yours truly, Omar Pinto and Tori Skeen, my co-host. And today we're just going to dive in and see if we can help Sara out here, kind of get back on track. So Sara, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's been happening?
Well, uh, in addition to pandemic and crazy life things that everybody is still dealing with, I moved in the fall. And so that was just a lot of upheaval in general. And then this spring, we decided to pull my son out of traditional school and we are doing online school. And he needs a lot of support through school. So I have taken a leave of absence from my job and I am his support person through school. So that is a lot of change as well. And I found myself getting back into this old Sara way of thinking, the drunk Sara way of thinking
Hmm.
of, woe is me, poor me, my life is so hard. I'm such a victim. I need someone to come in and help me fix this. And then I was like, nope, nope. So I just was allowing myself to coast and to make excuses of how I was so busy that I didn't possibly have time, couldn't possibly make time to attend meetings or to do the other things that I know work for my self care. So I'm just kind of kicking myself in the behind and trying to get myself in order a little bit.
Well, so as you say this, a lot of times, as soon as you what I've come to recognize in many cases is as soon as I out myself, as soon as I ask for help, something starts to happen inside of me. Like physically, there's a shift, mentally there's a shift, emotionally there's a shift. So now that you've expressed yourself and just said this, right? Um what's happening inside of you right now as you out yourself, so to speak?
Well, I've been taught well in recovery. And so I actually started outing myself a couple of days ago to privately, but with some recovery friends. And, I was told pretty quickly that I'd better get myself held accountable. Um, so just to be totally transparent, I have already started. And just by talking through with things with them, I was able to be like, okay, the next right thing is bam. When prior to outing myself, I was like, I don't know what the next right thing is. Somebody should tell me what the next right thing is, and just whining about it and having a plan of action um, has been very helpful. I have had to go kind of full on mama bear, which it's not a hard place for me to go when it's my kids. Um, I tend to be very much a doormat when it's me, but if it's my kids, I can do it. So having a plan of action and just kind of taking some next steps, got me out of the wallowing and into some action.
Good, good. So what would you say of all of the stuff that was going on prior to, like, when you got to that point where you were like allowing yourself to coast and there's no time to attend meetings and I'm busy? What would you say was the worst of it, if you could put your finger on it?
For me, I believe it was the self pity, right?
So
'Cause I
the
had
victim.
gotten Yeah, because I had gotten to a point where, I mean, we've known each other for a long time, right? So I had gotten myself to a point where I was able to recognize that I am more than capable of making my own decisions in life and more than capable of um, making difficult decisions without, being some damsel in distress. And I was getting right back into that thinking.
Well, so let's see if maybe we can heal what needs to heal. That's what comes to me right now as we're talking is like, wow, there feels like, you know, I don't want I don't want you to do a spiritual bypass. Okay, so in other words, I recognize that I'm slipping into self-pity. I recognize I am coasting. I recognize that I'm not doing the right stuff. I ask for help, right? And so the next right thing is to go back to go back to the basics.
Mhm.
Okay. Doing the next right thing. What it's not doing is addressing the core issue. So what needs to heal is the damsel in distress.
Yes, I have been extremely, for me, overwhelmed by things I can't control. Um, some things that I could control, but things that I cannot control, such as my dad's health issues, and I'm his power of attorney and healthcare proxy and all of that, and we live in different states, so that's a lot to manage on top of, and I just feel lately that life on life's terms has thrown a lot of life at me that I have been feeling overwhelmed, and I just have wanted that shut down and that escape and somebody else deal with it.
And so is there somebody else that could deal with it?
I mean, a physical someone else,
Yeah.
no. No, a physical, no. But
Mhm.
I guess in the back of my mind, I'm also thinking how you were saying about the spiritual healing, and knows Eric probably knows this about me, but I'm Christian, and so I have even had to go back to the basics of my faith and to be like, listen up, dummy. Like, you are not in charge of the life, and you need to do a very small area of control here rather than the rest. So, even getting back to my basics of turning things over and praying and stop trying to micromanage and stop trying to control all of that. But as a physical, actual person, no, it's me. I'm here. And my dad has no parents, no siblings. I have a sibling, but he's even further away. So um, that does fall on me. And that's okay. I mean, it's all right. It's just been a lot lately.
So then, once we address the physical realm, which is there someone physically that can
Mhm.
help? Is there someone I could hand off with or count on? Huh. When was the last time you could really count on someone, Sarah?
I mean, really, my mom is probably my biggest, or well, she's not the biggest, the strongest, most consistent supporter.
So, mom,
Mhm.
anybody else?
If I asked my brother to do certain things in this specific situation, he definitely would. He would help me. Um, but right now, there's not too much to be done. My dad he has Alzheimer's, and he's in that in between stage of he's diagnosed and he's on a medication that retards the progress, but he's not so bad that he needs to be in a home. So right now we're just kind of in that waiting stage. So, right now I've done as much as I can to be in contact with his healthcare providers and his financial institutions and his attorneys, and to set up all of my access and do all of the things that I can do from here. Adding another person in, especially who's at a distance, almost muddies the waters. You know, it's not that I can't count on my brother, it just would make it more challenging to have things divided up at this point.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with your brother.
Um, he is 4 years older, and I mean, growing up, I think we were very normal siblings. But he left home shortly after he graduated high school. That's when I was headed into high school, and he was in the service. So he was pretty soon several hundreds, if not 1,000 miles away from us. So we don't see each other very often, but we have a very positive, supportive, good, I don't want to say working relationship with my sibling, but as far as tasks and family things and things that would need to be decided in that aspect, we have a very good relationship. I think he's happy to let me take the lead, even though he's older. One, because I am closer. I think I'm emotionally closer with my parents. And I mean, my brother would tell you this. He is like an emotional slob. Like when there is a death in the family, he is like hyperventilating, needs assistance walking down the church aisle. Like he just does not handle trauma or grief really well. So I'm sure, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure. I think for him, in many ways, it's also easier if I handle it. And he prefers being the sounding board and the support person. And when I say, "What do you think about this?" He's like, "Yep, sure, whatever you want." So,
Okay, so my head's doing all kinds of things as I'm listening to this. I'm curious, Tori, what's coming up for you in this dynamic?
Well, I mean, I relate to that relationship with my sister, where it's it's more of a, I don't know, it's more of a system, I guess. And a like my sisters expect me to do things for my mom, and because they are busy with their life and have kids and I don't. And at the same time, like, why am I don't know. I get resentful. Why am I contributing all this work? Right. And
Please be candid. This is where I was going.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Just be candid, be open. This is a great, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I live 1,500 miles from my mom and they live 10 miles from my mom, but they still think I don't do anything. And, at the same time, I've paid my sister's electric bill, and I've paid when her power's gone off, and I've paid for my mom's credit card bills before, and they still think I'm a spoiled brat, and like don't do, and part of me is like, fuck you, and anyway, so that's how I feel, and I think that it's just no appreciation, and for me, I have to. It's part of it is my own shit because I expect so much of them, and how long they're 10 and 15 years older than me. It's been years, and they've still been the same. So why am I expecting them to change when they're not participating in therapy like I do every week? They're not, investing in self-development here, and it's my own expectations, and I can't expect them to change. Is that what you were looking for?
I was. All right. So now, Sara, what did you get from that share, if anything?
I mean, I think that situation stinks. I don't feel that applies to my situation. I think I would probably be resentful if my brother did try to come in and tell me how things were going to run, because I've been handling all this stuff for years. So butt out. Where we are right now, I mean, it works. And I would say, even though I started talking about the situation with my dad, that's probably not the most overwhelming situation in my life. It's just one situation over which I don't have control. And that's hard, I mean, nobody wants to watch their loved one suffer, right? Like nobody wants to not have control and be able to help. So I don't think that it's all that unusual. It's very hard on top of the stress that all of us have faced this past year, and moving is certainly a big stressor. Taking a leave of absence from my job is a huge stressor. And
So I knew Tori was going to come at it very differently. Okay. Just because I know Tori, but I didn't even know that facet of it. So it was even better. Okay. So it was more like this opportunity and ability to vent viscerally, right? I have a resentment. They're 10 miles away. I'm 15,000 miles away. Fuck them. Like, this is ridiculous. Why do I have to put up with this crap? And Sara is composed always. Always composed. Now, she may break down somewhere in a closet by herself where it's impossible for anyone to see her. But in public, it's never going to happen. And so there is that I would say need for vulnerability.
But do you remember the time that I cried on a call and I was like distraught for weeks? Right?
I do, Sara. I do. I can remember hearing you crying. So don't worry. I've seen it once. Only once, though.
I've seen it once. Okay.
Me too. It must have been the same meeting.
Okay. Mel, I've seen you cry more than once. So
I'll get out. I cry at anything.
So here's where we really want to ask the universe what it's trying to show me and what it's giving me an opportunity to do. Because if I don't go through what the universe is offering me an opportunity to do, it's just going to constantly present me with more opportunities to do so. And if I don't do it in that opportunity, here's another one, and here's another one. And so I move on my own. I get divorced on my own. I raise my kids on my own. I pay my own bills. I take care of my mom. I take care of my dad. And if someone comes in, I'm going to probably tell them to butt out anyway. So interestingly enough, last week, Tori was talking about control and perfectionism.
Oh, I know, because I watched it last night.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, great. So as you were talking, I'm thinking about that last week's episode. So how does it correlate with you? What ahas, if any, came while you were watching that?
Well, so interestingly, I've had a whole conversation about Tori today, and she doesn't even know it. So I was thinking, I do think that there are sometimes people who won't do it as well as I do. or even not as well the way that I would do, right? Because of course, I think my way is
Of course.
maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer, and maybe not so much the situation with my dad, but in general, I mean, I would prefer that someone else ride in on their white horse and take care of some of this other nonsense that I do not want to deal with.
Now, there is, yes, I want someone to ride in on the right horse, on the white horse. But isn't there a possibility that you would try and stab them?
I mean, it's probably true, like that jousting stick or something, you know?
Like I'm picturing that white horse coming in and she's like, yeah, no.
Right. Right. Probably.
Okay, so let's dance. Okay, so when I refer to dancing, it means flow, flexibility, movement. There you go, Eric. Very good. So I want to flow, I want to dance, and this is exactly what you're doing. Okay, this is a very interesting dance. I would love to have the white knight, the shining white knight, and the white horse ride in and try and save me while I try and stab him at the same time.
Well, right, because if we're dancing, I'm clearly the leader.
Okay. Okay. Right. So I also take the lead. So it's interesting
I think
how
she want the white horse to come riding in. She'd
Repeat-
want the white horse to come riding in, but then she'd want him to do it her way.
Bingo, Eric.
You didn't ride in the correct way.
Bingo. Right. Exactly. Right. I can picture it too. It's a brown horse. It's a brown horse.
You're late.
Or you're late,
Yeah.
right? So this is the only thing we have to understand, Sara, because otherwise I am going to continue to do things on my own, alone, which you don't want to do, but at the same time you want to do.
Right, because I kind of do.
Yeah. No one can do it like I do. No one would do it the way I do. It's all about the way I do it. What is so important about the way you do it?
I mean, before this even comes out of my mouth, I know I'm trying to rationalize it and justify it. So hear me say that loud and clear. I know. But when it comes to my parents and my kids, which are probably my two biggest stressors, nobody loves them the way that I do.
Nobody loves them.
Not that people aren't capable of helping, but nobody loves my parents and my kids the way that I do.
In other words, I'm more than happy to receive help as long as you do it exactly the way I tell you to do it.
Probably, yes. I mean, you know, I would prefer a much softer approach to that, but yes.
A softer approach would be that I would want someone to come in and save me and already know exactly the way I want them to do it so that I wouldn't have to tell them because they should.
Yes.
Okay, so this, again, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Okay, where is that? Can we keep going? Where do you think that's coming from?
I think probably a lot of it stems from, you know, I got with my ex-husband when I was not so young, but I mean, formatively young. And I didn't make any large decisions on my own. I have always had, as an adult, I have always had someone to make decisions with me or for me. And I haven't had to do them on my own. So I think that there is some probably distrust of my own ability or discernment to make the right decision.
However, you make all the decisions now.
Yes. But things are not going the way that I want them to go. So clearly they're not the right decisions.
So what is it that you think, just try and allow it to sort of just naturally come to the surface? What needs to heal in order for you to let go?
Probably this belief that I'm not enough.
This has been a long-standing belief for you.
Oh, yes.
That I am not enough. How old were you when you got married?
29.
29?
Mm-hmm. We've been together. We were together since I was 22.
Okay. All right. And were you in school at the time?
When we got together, yes.
22. All right. And were you still living at home?
No, I had my own apartment.
All right. When did you move out?
Of my apartment?
Nope. Out of your parents' house.
When I went to undergraduate school.
How old were you?
17.
Okay. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 5 years?
Yeah, I went to undergraduate school and then I went right to grad school. So
Okay.
I had 6 years of school.
Okay. So for 5 years, you lived on your own.
Well, as much as living at college is on your own.
Right. Well, you weren't living with your parents.
No.
You were living on your own. I don't care if you have roommates. You're still, mom and dad aren't taking care of you. Or were they?
Financially.
All right. So mom and dad. Okay. Taken care of financially. All right. And so you meet your future husband. Did you guys move in together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how old were you then?
23.
Okay. All right. So you were living with your parents, then you were living the college life, and then you were living with your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean you were always living with someone?
Pretty much.
Okay. So never had your own place.
Mm-hmm.
And now you do. So how was that transition for you when you moved out of your parents' house and moved into college? Was it an easy transition, or did you struggle in any way?
Well, I mean, I'm an alcoholic. I was off the rails. Like,
I forgot. So so you were drinking heavy in college.
oh, yes.
Okay. So were you drinking already in high school?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when we are drinking, or when the addiction kicks in, there is an arrested development period. So when would you say you reached the year where you stopped maturing?
Well, I started drinking heavily at 15.
All right. And I remember at the time, I would remember interviewing Sara telling her story on the Share podcast. And so how long ago was that? That was so long ago, I'm forgetting all the details.
That I shared on the podcast, I think it was 2018.
Okay. Oh, yeah. 3 years ago. Okay. So 15 years old, you started drinking heavy. How old's your daughter?
13.
So she's 2 years away from when you started drinking heavy. Do you think that your daughter is going to start drinking heavy anytime soon?
No. I mean, I hope not. No.
Yeah, there's no indication, right?
No.
So for what reason would a 15-year-old girl start drinking so heavy?
I had some trauma that I was drinking to cover, not knowing how to deal.
Anything you want to share with us or can or feel comfortable?
I mean, I'd rather not, but I mean, we're
Would you
adults
rather?
here. I was a 15-year-old girl in trauma. I mean,
Was it one of those heavy traumas?
I was not abducted by aliens, you know.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it was seriously traumatic. I mean, I still, I wouldn't say have nightmares, but I mean, there will be times that I will be caught, you know, really unaware and just flash back. I mean, there are days that are very difficult for me to, I don't know if I would say function, but some days are just really harder than others. And this trauma weighs very heavily on my mind.
What methods or pathways or help did you receive for that experience?
None. I mostly just kept it to myself.
Have you still mostly kept it to yourself?
I mean, I've talked about it with therapists, and I mean, some people know it's not something I enjoy going into chapter and verse about.
Do you feel that with the therapy, what needed to heal healed?
I think that with therapy, healing was progressed toward. I also think, you know, just the way that my mind works, I remember feeling before even going through that traumatic situation, feeling like everyone else knew what was going on and I didn't. You know, I remember that as a very young child, feeling like I didn't fit in, like I wasn't like the same as others. Like, how does everyone else know what's cool and I don't know what's cool, you know? Even in young grade school. So I think that there is probably just some part of my personality or genetic makeup or something that is just, I don't know if it's a depressive thing or if it's a worth issue or if it's truly a chemical imbalance. I don't know. But I have felt that way for a long time.
So really, there is this calling, and the two things that come to me are trust and self-worth. So no one can do it as good as I can. No one can do it. No one will do it the way I want to do it. And again, that helps protect me. If no one else can do it the way I do it, if no one else will do it the way I do it or the way I want it done, and more importantly, instinctively, intuitively knows how I want it done. Mind reading. These are just ways of keeping myself distanced from the rest of the world.
Yes.
So the closer I get to intimacy, the quicker I want to move away from it. The closer I get to intimacy, the more I want to move away from it. So the more I get into recovery, the more I could, or there might be a potential opportunity for me to be vulnerable and someone could see me. And I don't want to be seen.
Except for I do want to be seen if they're going to help take some of this workload away from me the way I want it done.
The way I want it done.
I want it done.
All right. Okay. So again, it's a tug of war that is just inside of you. I want help, but I want it done my way. I want the white horse, but he's got to look a certain way and act a certain way and do it a certain way. It's got to be a certain way. So what does that automatically start to come? This word is like starting to come to me right now. Like I need to feel what?
The word that comes to my mind is worthy. I'm stuck on that.
The word that's coming to me right now is safe. If I can control every aspect of everything all the time, I will be safe.
I can see that not only for myself, but for like my children and my parents, right? Like, as if I can be in charge of everything that goes on, like make sure my dad's not safe and not confused on what street he lives on, and I can pave a better way for my children.
When was the last time you felt truly safe?
I don't know if I have thought about that. I'm not sure. I guess I probably always have my guard up in one way or another. And I know this about myself. I mean, this is not new. I haven't thought about it in a while, but I don't let people get overly close to me.
So if I do not let people get overly close to me, because at some point I feel as the vulnerability starts to increase, my safety starts to decrease. And so at some point, I would rather handle everything on my own, because all of a sudden I am starting to feel unsafe.
Or they're going to let me down by doing it wrong.
The safety thing is just, I'm trying to connect to, I'm really like, as I say it, my chest is like, like I literally feel your energy right now, or I'm feeling somebody's energy.
Are you tense?
Yeah. I'm super tense right now.
It's probably me.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like, and this unsafe, this feeling of I'm not safe is coming. And that's what needs to heal, Sara. You will get this, you will get the help that you need and that you deserve and that you are worthy of. But you have to feel safe. And not only that, my parents, my children, I'm the white knight. Uh-oh.
Mom moment there. We're good.
Huh?
Said a little mom moment there, but we're good.
Okay. All right. So is it still a mom moment?
You can talk. It's fine.
Okay. So did you catch what I just said?
Yeah, I guess I think I'm struggling with it a little bit mentally because I haven't thought about it from a safety issue. As I think about my walls and my general lack of willing to be vulnerable with people and to let people see me as I am, I think about it much more as being reserved and being that feeling of worthy. I spent so many years, lying in double life and imposter syndrome and all of that. So, I mean, I would really have to sit with it for a little bit to see how much that resonated with me. Because I don't go around feeling what I would consider unsafe on the regular, but maybe that's what it is, because I know I also have a lot of fear-based issues, right? Like acting or not acting, depending from a place of fear.
Well, and I also know that for you, being in shape and being fit is super important. Being strong, which leads into that being able to defend myself, protect myself, okay, creating walls and barriers. And the
And
less...
I'm a good shot too, just in case.
What's that?
And I'm a good shot too, just in case.
Okay. All right. So the really, to me, and I am like, I mean, my whole body right now is just going, zzz. I mean, it is like, whoa, what is this? I literally am feeling like running for cover. So, I mean, I'm hoping that maybe I'm taking it all in for you. Like I'm helping balance out that energy that lives within you. But I think this is a golden opportunity to maybe reconnect with your brother in a different way. Not asking him for help for your parents, because this is what you've been working for your whole life. All the workouts and the cardio and the alcoholism and the recovery. And, you're strong, Sara. Of that, I have no doubt. But strong for what reason? And if I'm being strong so that I can do everything on my own because I don't trust anyone, because it doesn't make me feel safe to trust people, then I'm doomed to a life of loneliness and isolation. And you gravitate towards it on a regular.
Mm.
At some point, oh, I'm alone again. Oh, look. Oh, check it out. I'm alone again. All right. You're predisposed to not loneliness, but isolation, which will produce a feeling of loneliness. And then that feeling of loneliness will be translated into I'm not good enough and I'm not worthy. But it's not that you're not good enough and you're not worthy. It's that you're afraid.
Well, right, because my tendency, if I am overwhelmed or even sad, frustrated, you know, pick a thing, is to retreat, you know. And so that's what I have been doing, right? Is retreat and back away and, oh, I'm just so busy. But really, I just didn't want to talk about it. So that's what I really meant when I said I've been taught well in recovery, because I know that my brain is not really the smart one and is the one that gets me into trouble. So if it's telling me retreat and isolate and keep my mouth shut, then I need to do the opposite.
And keep my mouth shut. This sounds like that trauma right at the surface. So, what do you think the next step is, Sara?
Well, it probably involves feelings of, not being comfortable and having to be vulnerable, sharing things.
This is being recorded and there's other people on the call. This is not the place to do it. However, talking with someone that you could literally be completely open and transparent with is the next step. And your brother, as uncomfortable as this may make him, is your blood, is your heart, is your connection, is your safety. He's the man in your life right now. Because you can't go to this with your son, you can't go to this with your dad, right? And are you dating anyone?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Somebody new or same one?
Same one.
Okay. All right. So at some point, when I think about my own marriage, like one of the things that brought us so close together is sharing these very gooey, very uncomfortable, very embarrassing moments in our lives.
And I see you shaking your head no, and I'm like, no. No.
Yeah. So this need to remain guarded, this need to protect myself means I don't feel safe. I still don't feel safe. It's all spiraling back to safety, to safety, to safety. And if I can find more things that nobody else can do that allows me to stay busy, it helps me have a plausible yet untrue statement for my behavior. Just sit with it for a while and ask God for help. Ask God for help. God, send me the white knight. Send me the white knight so I can talk to him. That's it. Right now, what the universe is offering you or presenting you with is an opportunity to be vulnerable so that you can learn to feel safe again and trust. Because it's been a long time, Sara. It's been a long time and you deserve it. You deserve to feel safe and you deserve to feel as though you have someone that you can speak to. Could even be me. We have known each other for a long time. This is what I do. It's getting to the core of it, getting to the root of it. And how do I feel safe? God, help me feel safe. Show me how to feel safe. Present me with the people that I can trust. I'm tired of always feeling like I have to have my guard up. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I need help. Help me. Show me. That's the prayer. Does that feel accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I will need to sit with it because, like I said, I've not approached it from that line of thinking before. But
well, when we are continuously repeating the same patterns of behavior, it means there's something I haven't thought about.
I actually wrote that in my journal. I think it was Friday, maybe Thursday. Like I am not clear what I am needing to learn here, because I'm needing to learn something, but I am just spinning my wheels.
Well, and then next thing you know, you're on my coaching call. So there you have it.
No, I was really here to listen.
No, you weren't, but you thought you were. That's the only way you would have made it. Because if you would have thought you were going to be here, you might have just found an excuse. Because I was too busy.
Yes.
Any questions, Sara?
I don't think. Thank you for allowing me to be in the middle. I'm sorry I took up the whole time. I hope nobody else wanted.
This is how it's been. No, it's usually 1 or 2, but I've got plenty of one. It's not 15 minutes when it comes to somebody's life. All right. And ultimately, there's a lot of things that came up on this call, which is wonderful that it's recorded, because there's nothing in here that you discussed that is telling, but it's telling for you. And so it would be a really good idea to watch it back and allow yourself to process it from a place of safety. All right. So we're at the top of the hour. Does anyone want to interject anything or say anything before we shut her down?
I just want to say, Sara, thank you for bringing this up, because especially probably the last half hour, I got a lot out of, and thank you for taking the hot seat, because sometimes someone else's issues, and not issue, but struggles. Obviously, like, you watched the video last night and of me, my control freak issues, and got something out of it. And I just want to say, like, I was sitting here like crying a little bit, because a lot came up for me with the safety and the vulnerability, because I equate vulnerability with unsafety, and overexert myself in other acts of service, and surface level love, so that I don't have to let people closer to me, and so and then I get resentful when they are like, peace out, because I'm not genuine. And so I just want to thank you for helping me heal a little bit more. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Jump on in, Leo.
Hey, hey, Sara, how you doing? I put something in the chat, Omar, because I want you to, I don't want to step over nothing here. I have been drinking since I was 8, because something happened to me a long time ago too. And Omar knows, because he helped me videotape it for a presentation. So I got no agenda to hurt you. I don't know you. So just a suggestion, if I send the video to Tori. Maybe she can send it to you, because it might help shake some stuff loose for you that will help get to where you maybe got to get to. If Omar says that's okay, I'll send it to Tori after. It's 20 minutes. And you know what? You watch it where you're safe. It's just you and nobody else. And if it rings, it rings. And if it don't, hell, you get to watch me talk for 20 minutes.
That sounds great. Thank you.
We
You
have
good with that, Omar?
Oh, what's that?
Are you good with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Done.
Absolutely, Leo. Yes. No, Tori will handle it. You know what I was going to say is the power of vulnerability. We have no idea the ripple effect it will have in the world. Leo's story is unbelievable. Right. And it was an honor to record it. And it was an honor to, hold that space for him. And I've held that space for Leo many times, and it's so painful. That's the thing. Every time you share openly and vulnerably, to a certain degree, you're reliving that event. And in that moment, it feels like it's the most painful thing in the world, but it liberates you and it frees you from having to carry that all by yourself. And then the added bonus of not knowing how that story, your story, is going to help someone else, just like it did right now with Tori. We have no idea until we do. But when the universe presents us with an opportunity to share, and we don't, it creates a dis-ease within us. And we will do things to ourselves sometimes inadvertently, sabotaging ourselves, hurting ourselves, to avoid it. We'll do anything to avoid feeling those feelings. So I love you very much. I do. And I thank you for sharing with us and, sharing a little piece of you with us, right? Just like Leo has and just like Tori has. All right, kids. Powerful, powerful session today. Big applause for everyone. Let's send love to everyone. And we'll see you all next Wednesday.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Love ya. Hey, Mel, there she is.
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hi.
Love you so much. All right,
Love
ciao,
you too.
guys.
Good to see you all.